I just want to introduce you to what we are doing and the kind of a little bit of the context of it. You will see the big support logo there. So this is what we are doing at Small Business Britain. Oh, welcome. Can you read that, everyone? That's quite hard to read, isn't it? Oh, no, can't read it. So, yes, the world's changing around us and lots of small businesses are facing existential concerns. There's a growing need for business model innovation. We've heard a lot about that. You probably heard it on social media or in the press. There's a lot of talk of pivot. People talk about pivot. And what exactly do we mean by that? And really, what we are talking about is ways of running your business that work given the restrictions that we have, and utilizing all the digital help and tools and skills and availability that are out there, that actually have been out there for a while, but we as small businesses have, maybe not made the most of in the past. So using them to help our businesses move forward. So that seems to me that nobody can see the slides at all. You can't read the writing on there. So that's a bit of a problem. So if the chaps at BT could maybe work on reading the slide, that would be really super helpful. So I'm just going to talk you through exactly what we are doing with the big support here at Small Business Britain. And if you can't read the video, then we'll have a little bit of a chat just to let you know what we are doing. So the goal of the big support campaign is really to make sure that no small business is left behind. It doesn't feel like there's a future and you can't look after yourselves and your family. It's about increasing optimism in the sector and setting you up for a post-lockdown world and getting really back to business. So that's kind of what we want to do. Digital tools are a fantastic mechanism for doing that. But we don't want you to spend 3 weeks of lockdown learning how to do some stuff if it's not going to be useful to you. Really, this is about thinking about your business and what's the best way forward for it, and really helping you to be as positive as possible. So can we see any of this? It's not great, is it? So, Nikki, we could do with some optimism. Oh, love, yes, we do need some optimism. So, let's see what we can do. If you need a little optimism, always join our Facebook Lives on Small Business Saturday every morning, sort of around 9 and 10 in the morning. We're bringing in lots of small business case studies to try and keep people kind of buoyed up, but also give them ideas, things that they could do to help them through this period and help set them up for recovery afterwards. So, do we still have everyone with us? I think we're still okay. People are still hanging in there. The video's not great. We will share these slides with you afterwards. So if you can kind of hold on in there, that would be amazing. So adapting our business model to the current environment. Yes, Owen says there'll absolutely be opportunities in all of this. There will. Absolutely, there will. But I just want to kind of start with a couple of things to think about. Firstly, it's not going to be totally simple. So one of the things that we've really found talking to businesses in the last couple of weeks is a real sense of frustration. And actually, it's kind of a little bit about, it's a little bit of a grieving period for a lot of businesses, sort of being able to let go of how your business was before and to try and kind of reinvent it over this period, and also put yourself into a good position that you can get back going again afterwards. And for a lot of people, really, that's about finding ways that you can drive income in the short term and actually hopefully then develop new skills and routes to market that will put you in a good place to recover strong after this period. So yes, firstly, it's not going to be totally simple. We will need to actually do some work, and it is going to be frustrating because it means making changes that you might not be comfortable with, but it's absolutely going to be worth it. And it does require some flexibility as well. We were talking to a cheese shop last week about their business, and obviously being a shop, they've had to close their doors, but there are other options that they can, reach their customers and serve them online. And they were saying to us, but that's not why I set up in business. That's not what I want to do. I want to talk to people, my love of cheese. And really the message is that you know, it is going to require some flexibility. We may not be able to do exactly what we want to do in the short term, but that world will come back again. And let's look at ways that we can help you get through this period and keep you supported and keep you and your families supported. And then also that's going to give you new routes to market when this is over. Elizabeth said, will you be able to provide the slides? We can't see these at all. Yes, we will out the slides. I'm going to press on and hopefully you guys can join in the conversation and we can talk through some of your businesses and pivoting your business. But I know it's a bit frustrating when the slides are very hard to read. So, oh, yes, Elizabeth, thank you. Yes, you're very welcome. Don't worry. Right, alternative business models. Oh, that's a little bit clearer. I think you could see that a little bit better. Some things to think about. So, things to think about when we're starting to think about how we can adapt to the new one is, what is it that your business does? And oh, it's gone fuzzy again. What is it that your business does? I mean, really does. So taking a minute to sort of sit back and think about, what do I do for my customers? What do I actually do? And then, you know, asking yourself, who is your customer and what are they doing right now? Because chances are that has changed. Probably changed quite significantly physically where they are. Their day-to-day life has changed. And this is the same with B2B as well as B2C customers. The chances are your business customers have had to significantly change what they're doing, as well as, of course, if you're selling B2C, individuals are locked in at home and their life has changed a lot. So, and then the third thing is, what are your skills and what can you learn? So there might be things that you're good at that you've maybe not quite engaged with yet, or you've not recognized a part of the service that you provide. And then thinking about what you can learn. So are there ways that you can bolster your skills to develop new products or services or do more things for your customers? So some questions to sit down and ask yourself as you are kind of working out the right way forward. The two things I've put in there, some things to not think about. I don't know if you can read that because it is very blurry. Some things to not think about. The first one is, how can I sell more faster? And I wanted to put that in because there is a tendency to kind of think, right, well, we need income fast. I need to sell stuff fast. I'm just going to put my stuff online and sell it. Or I'm going to put my service online and sell, and try and get some money. And largely it doesn't work. And we were talking to a business last Thursday who sells great products actually, and products that actually would be very relevant to the current weather. Actually, looking outside, they're saying, I've put all my products online, nobody's buying it. I've tried to sell on. I put an advert on Facebook last night, nothing's been sold yet. And I guess the point for that is that it is not enough to just list stuff online. That is not how you pivot your business model. What you're really looking to pivot is your customer and your engagement with your customer, and from that to make sales. So we've got to be a bit realistic about what we're doing and how we're doing it. And really that kind of comes to my last thing, which is things not to do, is panic. People definitely pick up on panic. So try, that sounds like very almost oversimplified to say, but try not to panic and actually be a little bit more strategic about what we're doing, a little bit of thought, and work out a good way forward. Richard, has jumped. There's lots of comments. Oh, can't keep up. I think diversity is the key. I've started a new business from an interest, and once we return to some sort of normal, the two will work together time-wise. Completely brilliant, Richard. That's really great to hear. Right, let's have a bit of a think about how this might work. So, your customer. So really, this is the first thing to think about. And this might sound a bit odd when we're talking digital skills workshop, is not to start with a digital tool, but actually what you really need to do is start with your customer. This is really important for a couple of reasons. One is there is so much going on online, and particularly at the moment, completely crazy. What we don't want you to do is waste time and money on trying to engage on a channel and through a tool and with a platform that is just not going to work for you and your customer. You'll be wasting time, you'll be wasting resource. So start with your customer. So the chances are that even if you feel like they have, customers have not actually disappeared. They're just gone somewhere else, and they might be doing something else, but they haven't actually disappeared. And I think it's really important to remember that. They're going to be facing different challenges, and to Nikki's point, clients are struggling themselves, absolutely, but they are still there, and they are still looking for a way forward. So it's really important to remember and keep that in mind. Oh, we've gone like extra fuzzy now. Oh, someone says it's not blurry anymore. Can read it now. Brilliant. It's gone completely fuzzy for me. Oh, there we go. So it's good to remember, because it's good to remember that our customers still exist, because it reassures us they'll probably come back again. But also it means we can still engage with them. The same way that you are still looking to work, you're still looking to move your business forward and to do something, then your customer is trying to do the same too. So do remember that they are still there. Right, where are they? So it's gone back to blurry for you guys again. I can see it, the irony. So, oh, back again. Brilliant. I'm going to leave, I think it's Francis who's playing with the fuzziness. So I'm going to leave him with that, and I'm going to press on with talking about your customer a bit. Brilliant. So where are your customer going to be? Well, they're likely at home, or they're either at home or they're working in a pretty stressful environment, because those who are still in the workplace are likely they have social distance, or might be in a stressful job. So bearing that in mind, just thinking about where that customer is would be really helpful. The chances are they're using the internet more than ever before, because that's what's left to them. They are trying to find information. They might be ordering shopping online. They might be trying to entertain the kids online. But they are certainly using the internet way more than they have done before. They're probably discovering new tools, such as Zoom, or Joe's e-class, for example. I've heard much more talk about TikTok than I ever have. My 43-year-old friend who had her birthday on TikTok last week, which was a bit of a surprise to me. My mum who's discovering Zoom. So we're seeing lots of different news very rapidly coming to market. Owen, no, I'm not going to do the TikTok challenge. You can just sit there and be quiet for a moment, Owen. So they're working from home, possibly for the first time. So they're adapting to a new environment. And you understand that because you're probably doing that as well. So they're trying to get used to this kind of new workplace for them. Oh, 1 second. And they're also physically isolated. Potentially isolated, supposed to say potentially emotionally isolated. So they're definitely not seeing people. They might be feeling a bit lonely. They might be lacking in connection. So there's lots of things there that you can kind of think about when thinking about who your customer is and what they're doing. And a lot of it relates to digital. It's going to help you about how you can engage with them. And as I said, this is as relevant for business customers as it is for consumer facing businesses, because you're still talking to a customer, you're still talking to a person. Their life experience has dramatically changed. So bearing that in mind and adapting to that can give you an opportunity to continue to serve them and continue to sell to them. One of the things that this morning, actually, if you joined us on Facebook Live, we were talking to James Callender from Fresh Minds. Now, he runs a recruitment business, which is an industry that has been completely decimated by the coronavirus. But he stayed very upbeat about it. And one thing that he said is he spent a lot of time reaching out to his customers, just checking in on them, seeing how they're doing, being a human being, being caring, being thoughtful, and just seeing how they're doing. And actually, that has led to quite a lot of additional engagement and actually some new business. So he is managing to keep his business ticking over by reaching out and being kind of very positive and supportive. And let's have a chat on Zoom. Let's catch up. Tell us how you're doing, and that's really worked for him. Isn't TikTok for young people and too visual for client contact? Not necessarily. As I said, my 43-year-old friend has her virtual birthday party TikTok with friends up to over the age of 50 who were using it and discovering it. And visual can definitely work for client contact. So different customers will be okay with different channels, and that might also be adapting as time goes on. So finding your customer, and it really kind of follows on well from Nikki's question actually. Where is your customer? What are they doing, and what's the best way to engage with them? There are lots of tools out there available to you. I don't suggest that you try doing everything, because you will exhaust yourself and waste a lot of time and money. So we popped TikTok on there because it is getting a lot of engagement at the moment. And if your business is very visual, very kind of high energy, then maybe that's a platform that you might want to give some thought to. There's a lot more engagement from different demographics at the moment on TikTok. As we see with a lot of social media platforms, it often starts with young people and then expands out of there. But the likelihood with your business, you're probably thinking about Facebook, you're probably thinking about Instagram, Twitter, LinkedIn as different channels to find your customer. But also have a think about things like Zoom. So you might want to have a more one-on-one engagement with customers, or maybe you might want to bring 5-10 of them together in one place. They might be learning about new tools. So having a bit of a think about which channel your customers might be engaging in will be helpful to you to think about how you want to engage. So for example, we spoke to a business last week who had a lot of female clients between sort of 25 to 35, and they found that Instagram was massively more impactful for them than other social media platforms. It wasn't that they were particularly a visual business, so they weren't thinking about Instagram from a picture perspective, but their customer was there, so they started to think about how they engage a bit more with Instagram. And that's kind of the key thing, really, is thinking about, you know, where is your customer? And if you're not sure, go and do a bit of testing. Go and try it. Go out there, go on these platforms, go and talk to people and see. You know, you can use your analytics, which will tell you a bit about the demographics of people on different platforms. And also you can then see who's interacting with you. So it's always worth doing a little bit of testing. Right. Lots of questions coming in. Oh, a bit of a question from Neil. Not everyone is spending with local businesses. eBay are inundated. They are inundated on eBay. You may want to think if there's something on there that you can take advantage of. I'm always kind of keen for small businesses to take advantage of these things. The message you get out, the government's not shut down workplaces, absolutely not. We have had a bit of concern from small businesses actually, that they've had some, you know, maybe social media trolling, which is not a very pleasant side of digital, and people saying, oh, you know, you shouldn't be still working, you shouldn't be still operating. You have every right to look after yourself and look after your families. You know, as small businesses are the heart of communities, they are incredibly important, and it's very important that you can look after yourself. So never feel bad about carrying on your business. And you know, the feedback we're getting from the vast majority of customers is that they completely respect that and respect that you're a small business and they want to support you. So don't try and let that get to you. Right. Pressing on. Lots of comments coming in. So question, ask yourself, what do you really do? I could really use this being a bit clearer for the chaps at BT. If you can make this a bit clearer, that would be helpful. So asking yourself what you really do, and this kind of comes back to that point that we were talking about earlier. If we're thinking about pivoting our business model, that does not mean you know, what do? I sell trains. I'm going to go and sell model trains online. That's me done. That's me pivoted. Actually, think about what it is that you do for your customer, and that's how you're going to find a way to engage with them through digital channels. So firstly, for example, selling candles. Do you sell candles? I'm going to go and sell candles. Actually, what you do is you solved a gifting problem. So we spoke to a candle retailer last week who was predominantly on the high street, and she was thinking, you know, how do I, you know, I have got a website, but nobody really goes there. So how do I kind of shift online? And actually, when we spoke to her about what she does on a daily basis, she will talk to people. She will engage with them. They will come in, they will say, well, you know, it's my mum's birthday, it's my cousin's birthday, I'm really kind of thinking I want to do something a bit different, and she will kind of provide a bit of a consultative process for that. So she is selling a problem solving solution for that specific problem, not just their candle. So thinking about that helps her think about how she can then engage online. So making cakes, for example, actually what you're doing is helping to create a celebration. People still want to celebrate. It was my husband's birthday yesterday, in fact, and so we had to be a bit creative about how we celebrated, and we had a family Zoom. Everyone called in. In fact, we had a pub quiz on a family Zoom, and actually we have a tendency to buy from small businesses anyway, but we bought in lots of different things, and you can post them to different people, and you can kind of create a bit of a celebration. And actually, you know, that solved for us that problem. So kind of thinking through that, selling holidays. We spoke to a holiday company not last week, the week before. Awful time for small businesses in the holiday sector, of course. But then talking through them, what they do, actually, they sell and create dreams. They create this kind of sort of idea of the future of this. And I've been sitting here thinking about holidays a lot. I really house and look at my full think I'm penned in, and you start thinking about open spaces and holidays, and actually that gives her a great opportunity to start talking to people about the future and to talk to people about, you know, what their dream could be, what their kind of ideal place could be. And that was a route into having these conversations online, thinking about the kind of content she wanted to provide and how she engages with that customer, really giving her a great kind of runway onto a post-lockdown revenue stream. The next one on the list, conduct MOTs and services. What you're really doing is you're keeping people safe. So really difficult. So MOTs have all been pushed back 6 months, and I've spoken to a couple of garages who are like, this is, you know, we can't see people, we can't interact with people, and actually, you know, everything's kind of gone for 6 months because nobody's coming for an MOT. So we started talking to them about what exactly they do and how people feel when they leave having their car serviced or you know, having passed their MOT. And actually it's providing safety and security, and to some degree obviously it's a legal requirement, but I started thinking through that, and actually there were lots of ways that they could engage with their customer online and in advance of the lockdown ending. So things like they were thinking about online videos for how to do an oil change, for example. Shamefully, I have no idea how to do an oil change or how to change a tyre. This is really helpful for their customers. They're not charging for it, but they're developing that customer relationship. And then it gives them an opportunity to say things like, do you know what, it's going to be crazy busy getting your MOT when this lockdown ends. Why don't you book your priority session now? Why don't you pay in advance and get a 10-15% discount for that? Why don't you get a voucher for MOT for mum, for granny, for your kids? Thinking about how you can give people that safety and that reassurance as a gift and as a future product. So that does a couple of things. One is it really embeds their customer relationship, which puts them in a great position for the future. And two, it gives them an income stream right now by selling those products in advance. And it's a great example of how, you know, it may feel like the world is ending now, but all of those MOTs are going to have to be done. They're all going to have to come through. So actually put yourself in a good position to be able to serve that market now. Just need a mouthful of water. Bear with me. Oh, not come through. I'm wondering about whether I should do gift vouchers for families. Yeah, definitely. Why are you wondering? Do it. Do it. If you need a help with that, let us know. So I sell firefighting and search and rescue products and services around the world to fill out the category of businesses you're aiming at. Jackie, yeah, we're gonna talk a lot about service businesses and businesses in different sectors as well. There's absolutely ways that you can pivot. I mean, so for example, the MOT garage was completely devastated, thought there's literally nothing we could do. But actually, when you start thinking about who that customer is, and again, if you're in safety and security and making people feel secure, there are definitely ways you can engage with that customer still. Then kind of continuing through different sectors like teaching, dancing. I'm sure you've seen lots and lots of online and Zoom things going on. Classes at home. So really, what do you do with teaching and dancing? Well, you entertain, you enrich people and children or adults, and actually being able to entertain the children for an hour is gold dust to parents at the moment who are faced with the concept of a whole term of homeschooling coming up, which is, I know, for a lot of people quite overwhelming. And what are we going to do and how are we going to fill that time? And do remember that although it might feel like people have, you know, there's a lot less disposable income, people are still spending. There are a lot of people who are at home on full salary or who are still working at home who do have income. So don't kind of write off your market. So think about how you can entertain and enrich people through that sector. One thing I put in here about mending, tennis rackets. It was a business who got in touch with us. We think, oh, well, there's not a lot of tennis playing going on out there, and how do you mend tennis rackets remotely? But actually, we started to think about what they do. They enable fun, they enable sport, they enable fitness. You know, we're all dreaming about being Andy Murray. I certainly do, around the Wimbledon time, which is not happening. And actually, you start thinking about what else can we do? Are there products that you can sell people when people are thinking about, you know, as soon as this is done, I'm going to be outside in the sunshine playing tennis. So I'll just get that tennis outfit, or I'll get that new racket, or maybe I'll send my racket off to get fixed. And thinking about how you can enable those things through digital channels as well. Lots of comments coming through. Yes, public sector doesn't seem the right time to get in touch with them to talk business. Don't get in touch to talk business, just get in touch to see how they're doing. Get in touch to keep contact, ask if there any way you can help them. People will really appreciate that, and then kind of keeps you on their radar and makes them a more feel more positive towards you. Skills for tomorrow. Say hi on social media using hashtag skills for tomorrow. Yes, get involved on social media. I know it's quite difficult to be on social media and on the webinar at the same time, but please do go and say hello. Owen says, same thing. Don't talk business as usual. Problems or issues that you might have a unique insight to. That's so true. Thank you. Right, let's press on with the slides because we've got quite a few. So I wanted to have a look at some examples, and we've talked about some examples as we've gone through. So I'm really keen to talk about some of your businesses as well. I'm going to talk about some really simple ways that businesses have pivoted. It's a really simple change. This is a business called the Suburbs. They are a restaurant. Restaurants, and you know, the kind of the obvious pivot is restaurants moving to takeaways, and they then kind of thought about what is it exactly that we do and how on earth do we change, and we're just not set up for this. But what they thought about is what is it? People are hungry. They are their customers not particularly tech savvy, but they're also not price sensitive. So they'll be up for paying for a good quality product. So they set up a product which is a pick up your own Sunday roast product, and they promoted it on the Facebook page. So they didn't set up a big digital payment platform. They just went on their Facebook page and talked to their customers in a very genuine and authentic way and said, what do you need? How can we help? So all you have to do is email your order, and then you pay over the phone. Then you pull up in your car and they put the roast in the boot. And then they were like, well, this is great. And people are really engaging with us. So they developed gift vouchers off future meals. So you buy your gift voucher and with it, you get 25% off a future meal. So again, driving some of that income in advance. And we've done a lot of talk about gift vouchers over the last few weeks. And I think we've seen the successes with them and not such successes with them. And I think the key really is thinking about that customer and how can you serve them. So what is it that what role do you play? Do you reassure? Do you support? Do you entertain? And thinking about how your voucher can serve that need for your customers. So next up, hopefully next up, press next. Is that working? Oh, a simple gateway, Happy Herefords. So these guys are a butchers, a farm and a butchers. So they know their customers. They know their customers at home, and actually they can be a little bit older. So they've got quite a lot of customers who are isolating because of their age. They appreciate quality meat. They are not price sensitive. They're probably looking for a treat. They're struggling with supermarket delivery slots. So thinking about all those needs, created a product that would solve that, but without causing them too many technical difficulties. So they launched a delivery boxes in chilled boxes. So for their fresh products, one of the big challenges, obviously, getting it delivered is keeping it fresh. So they develop these chilled boxes. They send them out once a week via a courier, and they set up a mega simple payment gateway on their website. Just put a PayPal payment gateway on their website for just two products. If you live locally, they'll go around and deliver them in person, and then nationally, they'll deliver them via courier in a cool box. Dead simple, really, really simple. Rushed off their feet, literally created two products, but really focused on who their customer was, what they're doing, where they are, and the problems that they're having, and managed to create a new revenue stream for themselves. So pretty simple. We know not everyone is a product business though. So what else can you do? So thinking about events. Now, events have been really hit by the current crisis, and completely understand this is a really difficult sector for them. So Captain Fantastic. I think Captain Fantastic, thinking about who their customer is. So their customer is essentially the parent. It's a busy parent. They do have disposable income. They're now homeschooling. They're busy, they're stressed, and they're feeling a bit guilty about the children missing out on their birthday party. So there's lots of things you can kind of tap into there. So you can solve some real problems for that customer. So they launched their online children's parties, hosted by professional entertainers. So they managed to keep their staff busy and keep their staff doing something. They're streamed straight to your TV screens or your laptop, and they do it via Zoom or Skype, Google Hangouts, and the customer gets to choose which channel works for them, which is really great. And then they kind of create a package around it. So not just coming onto the screen to basically keep your kids entertained for an hour or so, but they will also do the invites. They will give you a very personal experience. So you're not kind of streaming YouTube. It's not kind of a very broad, one size fits all, or watching CBeebies. It's very personal. It makes your child feel like they're still having a party, and helps to solve that problem for the customer. So it uses the digital tools, thinks about things they can provide around the edge, but solves that customer need. Pressing on a few other things that have done that's a bit different. Brownie Bar. So these guys are a slightly different business, and actually their customer is young. They're a young adult. They're frustrated with lockdown. They like a sweet treat. They're bored. They're engaged with digital. Their customer is quite digitally savvy, so a little different to some of the others. They've got an online store, but they kind of recognised that just selling brownies wasn't really fulfilling their customer needs. Their customers had time on their hands. They wanted activities, not just a product. So they found that there's a new way that they can engage with that customer, not just selling them a thing, but actually selling them an activity. So they created their make your own brownie kit to make at home. You have your own eggs and butter. So it became a entertainment. It became a thing they could do, as well as something they could eat. They do the deliveries once a week to minimize the lockdown impact, but they've created this whole new area for themselves. And of course, this is still going to be relevant for them post-lockdown as well. Pressing on, collaboration. David jumping in. Interesting ideas. We're a small brewer. We came up with Save the Brewery box. Worked really well. Sounds completely amazing. I'm going to go and check out Save the Brewery box. That sounds absolutely brilliant. So, I mean, absolutely a real challenge for businesses that are on the on trade, I get those two mixed up, for the on trade. So if you're selling into bars, cafes, restaurants, really difficult sector. So with everything closed down, so looking at ways that you can move into the off trade, and also looking at ways that you bring some revenue forward. There was a brewery that we looked at about 10 days ago called Signature Brewing in Walthamstow, and they're doing two things. One is they sell a pub in a box you can get delivered to your house, and it's got the beer and it's got snacks and it's got a pub quiz, so it's kind of the whole experience, not just the product. And two is they're selling tickets to the biggest something up in a brewery ever, so a big party in the brewery when this is all over. They don't even have a date for it, but you can pay, I think, like something like 25-30 quid and have unlimited beer when this is all over. So again, thinking about that kind of dreaming, thinking about that future opportunity, creating a small digital product and selling it can give you that much needed income in the short term, but also a new route to market. So collaboration. So thinking about not just your business, but other people around you, how you can develop, and that, you know, we're talking here about Grainger Market, but this works for B2B, it works for service products as well. What are the businesses around you that you can maybe package up and sell products? So Grainger is a market in Newcastle. Customer is mostly local to Newcastle. They value the market. They are quite price sensitive. They prefer the market to the supermarket. They are frustrated with lockdown, and they want to get back to the market and that experience, but not particularly digitally savvy. So Grainger clubs together, their various traders club together to create a really simple website, mega simple, selling packages of fruit and veg, bakery products, cheese, meat, various different things that are sold at the market. They take about 150 orders a day, and they're delivering themselves locally within about 48 hours. So they're enabling that customer who's probably getting a bit frustrated with supermarket websites at the moment. I'm sure we've all seen those. You are 1020th in the queue for this website. So they're looking to solve that problem. They're not, as market traders, a lot of them are not digitally savvy, but they had enough savvy within the team that they could create the website. And between them, they're actually solving a problem for the customer that they couldn't do individually. So it's definitely worth thinking about who sits around you. Is it a high street that sits around you? Is it a sector that sits around you? So if you're a service business in, you know, maybe you do, I know, thinking about who we've got on here. We've got an IT service on here. We've got some social media marketing on here. Could you put a package of a back to business package together of, marketing and support services that solves a business problem for businesses, but with a few different products all mixed in there, and then kind of thinking through kind of a really simple way of selling it. So for these guys, all using digital as the route to the customer, but the success comes from thinking through who that customer is and what their needs are. So I think we have one more. Yeah, these guys were really interesting, actually. They used Facebook in a really interesting way by asking their customers what they wanted. So they're a walled garden in Baumber. I hope I'm saying that right. You can see the very high-tech picture that we've shared here. Hopefully that's clear enough and you can see it. Their customers are local, elderly people, families, gardeners. They're keen to spend time in their garden during the lockdown. This is who they are and what they're doing right now. So pre-lockdown, this business was entirely experiential. You'd visit the garden, you'd visit the tea room. It's all very nice and quaint and country. And the lockdown came down, and they had to put their staff onto furlough, and just sitting there thinking, well, there's nothing that we can do. But they used Facebook to talk to their customers. And this is really important, to have a chat with your customers, speak to them, find out what they're doing. And what they found was that customers are in their gardens. They want plants, they want ornaments, things to do in the garden. And actually they were like, well, actually there's something we can do here. So they started taking orders via Facebook. So for things like perennials, I still don't know what a perennial is. If someone can tell me what it is, I am not very green fingered, I've got to be honest. Shrubs, plants, trees, ornaments, plant pots, lots of stuff like that. As you can see, the compost is due in Friday the 17th. There's no bedding or annuals. Okay. But they took all their orders via Facebook message. They didn't have to set up anything complicated. They took all the orders via Facebook message. You then do a bank transfer payments and they deliver locally. They've actually had to bring staff back from furlough to fulfill more than 150 orders a day. Completely amazing. They were really kind of facing a very bleak, what is normally a really busy time of year. When the sun comes out, people start thinking about getting out in their gardens, and it just was, really, really, and with Easter as well, it's a very busy time for them. And they managed to completely turn it around. And the fundamental of this was using Facebook to talk to their customers and find out what they were doing and what they need. So a great way to kind of start is having a chat with your customers on the channels that they're on. And for them, they were, the customers are on Facebook, so that was the ideal place for them to go. Right. So things to kind of think about from that. So firstly, you can sell anywhere. You don't need a fancy e-commerce website to get going with selling a product or service online. And actually, it can come. Oh, thank you very much. Plants back everywhere, I think. Thank you very much for that one. Yeah, you don't need a fancy e-commerce website. Thinking about the most important thing is to think about who your customer is and how you engage with them, and then think about how you can sell on that platform. You can sell via Facebook, you can sell via Instagram or Twitter, you can sell via DM, you can send people your bank details, you can get yourself on eBay in a morning. It's completely free to list on eBay until the end of May. If you want to do that, you can get your actual mechanism to sell up really easy. The important thing is thinking about who your customers and where they are. Secondly, you can create packages of products or services to be delivered now or post-lockdown. If you can think about, you can train, you can help, you can feed, you can entertain, you can guide. So it's more about what you're doing for your customer and create a mechanism for your business to continue. And that's kind of the key thing, like ways for you to continue during this time. And then hopefully then that's a new revenue stream, a new mechanism for getting to market post the lockdown. Key thing is not to focus on selling. Selling without focusing on selling, but focus on your customer needs. Speak to them, work out what they need, and deliver it to them with the tools that are available. So one of the questions here, if you have clients who want to keep their concerns private, they're more difficult to reach, they will still be out there. So drop them a line, speak to them individually, speak to them one-on-one, work out what your current clients are thinking and needing, and the chances are that new clients will be thinking and needing the same thing too. It doesn't have to be having a public conversation via social media, via digital channels. You can completely have private conversations, but it can be a mechanism to engage them and then bring them into something that's more one-on-one, like a Zoom call or a Google Hangout. Right, previous slide. Hello. Okay, key tools to enable rapid sales. So whilst I'm talking about customers as opposed to, quick fix tools, we are of course talking about how we can do this quickly to enable you to find new routes to market and continue during the lockdown. Speak to your customers, work out what they need, and then make the sales via the relevant platform. Could be as simple as a DM on Facebook. Service-based businesses do not have to stop. Your customer is just as likely to have shifted to the living room, so look at tools that deliver there, such as a Zoom, for example. Collaboration can make it easy to do new things. So if you work with a business that's more digitally skilled than you, they can teach you things and help you use new tools. Getting someone who can help you with a PayPal gateway, for example. There's lots of different ways that you can, things that you do will be useful to other people, and they may have skills that can then help you. So collaboration is really important. So customers do still want to buy, and they are learning fast too. So use their new skills to sell. And I put it, Granny just discovered WhatsApp. My mum, my little girl's granny, just discovered WhatsApp. Complete revelation, bowled me over. And this is the thing, is that what we're seeing, because of the situation we are in, people are being pushed into learning new skills that would maybe have taken them a lot longer to engage with without the lockdown. So use that to your advantage. Find that your customer is using new tools, and it might be TikTok or it might be WhatsApp, and use that as a mechanism for engaging with them. So, top tips. So just want to leave you a couple of top tips, and it's only 12 o'clock. So time is really speeded on. Some lovely things coming in. Networking going on. Manal, Nikki, drop Manal a line. Manal's brilliant. Yes, definitely have a chat with her. Lots of discussion about beer on here, which is amazing. I'm definitely going to go and check out their virtual brewery. So top tips. Number one, if you build it, they won't come. Yes, this is no field of dreams. Do not build online sales mechanisms without thinking first about your customers. And this is really important. We don't want you to waste lots of time and energy. Digital tools are amazing and helpful, and largely a lot of them free, which is completely brilliant for small businesses. But work out where your customers are first. You need to think about how you're going to reach those customers before you think about building the sales channel. Number two, don't spend if you don't have to. Please don't spend if you don't have to. But there are lots of things that you can invest in, but there's lots of things that are free. So definitely start with the free stuff first. And we talked about different ways that you can take payments via bank transfer. You can talk to your customers via direct message on platforms. You can set up really quick and simple and free payment gateways. So don't feel like you need to pay for those. The third one is be patient. Frustration is the enemy of productivity. That sounds very trite, doesn't it? But it really is. The more frustrated you get, and we are in this period of kind of grieving for the old world, and it's taking us time to adjust, but try not to be frustrated. Try a few things and don't give up. The chances are there's a solution for you out there. You try a couple of things that don't work, you'll get to it. You'll find the thing that does work for you. A bit of experimentation and a bit of patience goes a long way. I'm losing my voice now. Number four, and this is really important, think long term too. There is a light at the end of this tunnel. There absolutely is. Things will come back. Things will come back together. We will get back to business again. The doors will open. So think new channels to market and skills that you learn now are going to set you up to be more resilient and to grow your sales when the lockdown ends and your old channels to market come back. So if you were a largely face-to-face business and you develop digital channels, you're going to have both when lockdown ends, and that's a great situation to be in. It's going to make you more resilient. It's going to make you more robust to future economic shocks. So think of that in a really positive way. This is really helping you in your business. And finally, developing customer relationships is also valuable. It's not wasted time. It may not be an immediate sale, but it's incredibly valuable. Even if the sales don't come immediately, growing that customer base and building a really engaged customer base using your digital tools is going to help you come back stronger when this all ends. So try not to be frustrated if it doesn't immediately lead to sales, but it is going to put you in a better position long term. So I see it's actually 12 o'clock. So we're really coming to the end. There's lots of questions, comments coming through, which is really brilliant. Do stay in touch and do keep letting us know how you're doing and how your business is going. There's lots and lots of more training, and we kind of really done a bit of an overview now. If you go and have a look on the BT Skills for Tomorrow, it's bt.com/skills for tomorrow website, lots and lots of free training webinars. Can I dig into a little bit more detail? If you've started on Facebook, you find that's where your customer is, you're getting good engagement and you want to do more, there's some great training that you can get on there, just as an example. I would kind of encourage you to keep trying new things, to work out where your customer is, find a simple way that you can engage online, and do try and remember that your customer is still there. They might be harder to find. They might seem a little invisible. They might be stuck in a house, and they might be online rather than face to face, but they are still there. And you know, we've not found many businesses that have not managed to pivot in some way over this period. And you know, we want to do everything we can to help put you in the best position to recover when the lockdown ends. So I can see this. Oh no, you've still got me on there. There's a feedback form that the guys are going to share a link to. So please do drop in and let us know whether this was helpful, and you know, let us know what else you want help and support with. Please do also get in touch with us at Small Business Britain, hello@smallbusinessbritain.com. We are working, smallbusinessbritain.uk. Terrible, smallbusiness.uk. We are working loads with BT on the Skills for Tomorrow programme over this period and beyond. Please do stay in touch with us. Anything we can do to help, please do let us know. We will be continuing to share hints, tips over the course of the day, and of course over the course of the week, with hashtag Skills for Tomorrow on lots of different social media platforms. So please do join in. Thank you very much for joining. Oh, thanks, Rachel. That's great. Oh, it's nice to see you, Rachel. Brilliant. Oh, thanks, Michelle BT. You're really welcome. I hope it made you feel a bit better. You're really welcome. Please stay in touch. Take care. Look after yourself. Let us know how you're getting on. And we will see you all very soon.